Hello, everybody, and welcome to Captain's Draft 3.0, presented by Dota Sim and Moonduck TV. My name is Sunsfan, joined by Purge and JJ, aka Pimp doing the observing/production. Slacks is not here because it's way too early for him to wake up, and God knows what he did last night. Purge, how's it going, buddy?
Really good, dude. I woke up like actually 20 minutes ago, and I felt like I slept over my alarm, and then my alarm went off. It was beautiful, and I'm a little drowsy, but I freaking love Captain's Draft, dude. So I'm ready to cast Team Liquid versus Vega Squadron. This is going to be some awesome games. I was hoping we would get an Arc Ward in this game, because if there's any team that would have obsessively practiced that hero, it's going to be Liquid, but unfortunately, it's banned.
Yeah. Did I make a prediction early on that Arc Warden would be... No, I said Ricky, and he was shortly after. Cough, cough.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
Warden, I really don't think he's ever going to get banned stage, unfortunately.
Yeah. Is there any point where a game doesn't matter? Because I need some like best three to not matter. Yeah, some team will just pick it.
The last season's format had that, and we took it out this time because, as you guys may or may know, I agree. It's better off with games mattering, obviously, but it does hurt as far as like Arc Warden getting through. But that's okay. One can hope. Maybe we'll see Ricky and Arc Warden in the exact same game, because I was going to say Ricky counters him, but not really, because the ult does not even work on illusions, right? So that counts as an illusion?
No, it's not an illusion. It counts as a real hero. You can break smoke on it and everything. So I'm pretty sure his ult will work on it. But I would say Ricky sounds alright against Arc Warden. Arc Warden's armor is really low. You know what really wrecks Arc Warden, though, is cleave damage, because it doesn't matter if you're evasive if you get hit by cleave. So heroes that are really good against Arc Warden are like Sven and Anti-Mage. You can clear Neko 3s really easily. Anti-Mage as a whole is actually quite good against Arc Warden. So there's a couple counters, actually. Before I thought there weren't, but then I played against an AM, and I was like, hey, this sucks.
You know who else is great against them? Is Centaur. Can't think of why, but, you know, probably a pretty good counter. Anywho, group stage begins today, as you guys may or may not know. We brought something very new to this tournament. I don't know. I guess you should know by now. It's not Group A and Group B. In fact, it's Group Hippo and Group Horse. It is alphabetical, so Group Hippo is first, which is what we are going to be casting today. So Vega Squadron and Team Liquid. For the group stage, it's actually pretty simple. Each team plays each other once. There's 4 teams in each group. They play each other once with a best of 3, and then they go to the playoffs. So it's only going to be about a week-long group stage, pretty short, and then playoffs begin shortly after. So gonna be good stuff. And then after this series is EG versus Mama's Boys. That should also be entertaining, to say the least.
All these games from here on out are amazing. I'm really pumped to watch. Juggernaut, Vengeful Spirit, the first 2 picks for Vega. I love the Magnus pick on Team Liquid to block Vega from grabbing that, since the Simjai is so well jugged. And they go for Magnus, Lina, and Tusk. So semi-decent offlane hero. Their mid is going to be very strong. They've got a good roaming support and or offlane in Tuskar. And we'll see what Vega goes next. But right now, the drafts of both teams are very solid.
All right, let's make some predictions. I want some crazy ones. There's unfortunately nothing crazy. Okay, Techies is crazy, but that's not happening. Although there is a Tusk in the game.
God, I was going to say Silencer. Damn it! I should have said it.
That looks like a Dragon Knight to me, bro. I don't know. Pretty sure.
I looked at that here and I was like, yeah, Silencer would work really good against Liquid's heroes. Stop them from casting spells. Cool stuff. Silencer is a good pick there. Venomancer is not bad for either team, I would say. There's a lot of times the Venom is actually really a nuisance to play against. If he's able to land his Gale and you're not able to cancel it with a debuff or something, it's really strong. Tiny's the pick though, so the burst damage for Vega. Not too surprising to see this. Probably will be their mid hero, I'm guessing. It's a little scary against Lina in the mid lane, but it can work, and maybe you'll have to dual lane with a different support like Silencer, but they can make that work.
Alright, I want to see roaming Mirana for Liquid. And I was going to say CK carry, but I don't think it's that good against Tiny. It was good against everybody else, though. So, we'll see. Although, okay, the hero I want to see most...
CK carry?
Yeah, CK carry.
Yeah, it's
just
not
because they didn't have much AoE until they picked up Tiny, so now I'm not liking it as much.
No, I'm gonna agree with you there. It would have been good against Silencer, Venge, Juggernaut. It would have been alright in that setup. Slark's the pick though. He's a little weak to burst damage, but he has a lot of solutions against Juggernaut, and he's very good at solo killing Silencer and Vengeful Spirit as well. The line pick to run things off to give him some good disables and more burst damage. I like their draft a lot. Team Liquid's draft looks pretty weird, or pretty normal.
Vega, let's see, they have... Silencer might not be a support, right? It could be even a tiny support. I guess they could do literally anything with this lineup. Very flexible indeed.
They could. It's on Dire, but they'd have to do the pulling, and it's a little bit hard to execute. I feel like it was something that was done around the Frankfurt Major, but after that, teams kind of gave up on it. So it's possible.
Wait, was that before or after the changes to the map? I can't even remember.
Well, Dire team's the same. It was only ever done on Dire. Well, it was done on Rainy a little bit, but I'm sure it still works on both. You just pull the creep out and then you toss it to the mid wave, and then they follow it back.
I thought for Dire it would be the hard camp next to the Ancient.
I wouldn't be surprised if you can do that one too, because you only have to pull it out a little bit, and toss is pretty long range. So I have a feeling you can pull either. We'll see if that's where they go with.
All right, well, it's going to be Mag off lane with that Earthshaker. We'll see if he ends up being solo or not. Not to be confused with the player solo, who's going to be playing Silencer for Vega Squadron. So, again, Group Hippo commences. Vega Squadron versus Team Liquid, best of 3. And each game... Okay, actually, I forgot to mention this format. I absolutely cannot stand when format for tournaments is 3 points for a 2-0, unless it's a best of 3. And that is exactly the case here. A lot of group stages are I shouldn't say best of 2. They're 2-game series, and if you go 1-0, that's 1 point, and then 2-0 it just jumps to 3 randomly. I hate that. I really hate that. So for this, it's literally 1 point per win, except if it's 2-0, then it's 3 points. And I think as a result of that, it'll help there not being tiebreakers, but we'll see.
I guess the 3 points. I think the 3 points is definitely a bit of a weird thing. I mean, there's sometimes tournaments where some teams will just get all ties and they'll just be far behind every other team.
Yeah.
Or they'll get like 2-1s or.
I mean, the whole 2-0 thing, when it's a series that's 2 games max, is probably the biggest complaint from pro players as of recent times. Which is why I was surprised that Shanghai did the same thing, the majors at least, the qualifiers. So maybe in the future that will be changed.
Usually they do it out of interest of hopefully there being less pauses, basically. Right. Or I'm sorry, not pauses, less tiebreakers later on after the group stage ends. So trying to find a solution to a shitty problem, basically, and it's hard.
All right, so it's going to be Fata mid versus... Wait, who is mid? Is it going to be... Oh, it's Tiny. It's going to be a tough lane for Tiny, unless it's a dual lane of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to get a dual lane. Probably Silencer sitting mid, I think, in zoning form would help a lot. Then you put bench top with the Juggernaut. I think that would be the best lane setup for them.
Oh boy. Mind control. I was hoping he would go for a cliff, but again, there are no cliffs anymore. It's kind of sad, actually. Well, there is one, I guess, by Roshan. Or 2, technically. The 2 cliffs by Roshan itself. It's the only ones you can get stuck on, I think. Although, no. This one here, can you walk? Is that... No, that's not a path.
No. Even if you clear those trees, you can go very far.
Alright, so it is going to be a dual lane mid for Vega Squadron, Silencer and Tiny versus Lina. I actually haven't cast a game with Silencer yet, and I haven't seen Arcane Curse come into effect either, which he's going to get level 1.
What about... you weren't watching the games yesterday, I think. There was a Silencer mid versus a Sniper, and he wrecked in the laning stage, but he didn't get Arcane Curse. And ultimately, they ended up losing the game. It was actually a really interesting back-and-forth game. It was against your team. How did you not watch that?
I did. I just don't remember.
Okay.
Well, we didn't pick. I remember Sniper getting wrecked, but
he actually almost died. He had 8 HP. He just took so much damage from Lina here.
In the meantime, Solo is getting chased by Jerax, who has that really annoying Orb of Venom, and Pasha is gonna push him out of lane here as well. So he will live to see another day. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough lane for no one for sure, unless Silencer can actually make some sort of a difference here. But again, he's already left the lane.
Hard for him to trade with a guy with an Orb of Venom. It's not very straightforward, so he may just have to adjust back into pulling. On the bright side, he has gotten the Tusk to follow him all around the map, and that is going to prevent him from zoning a little bit. But it's like Lina in a tiny 1v1 matchup is going to be really good for Lina. Like every time he comes forward, she can attack, Dragon Slave attack. That's so much damage that Tiny can't keep up.
Mind Control has to skewer top lane, but he's going to take the Vengeful Spirit with him, and First Blood goes the way of Vega Squadron pretty easily as Vengeful Spirit taking heavy damage bottom lane in the meantime. Mag getting forced out. As a Courier, where? Mid lane! Oh, Courier! No, he's good. He'll get away safely.
Adorable.
the oh, that's not the platinum Roshan, that's the ice baby Roshan.
Is that
Okay.
in the compendium?
No. I don't know what that film actually. Huh.
My money.
Pretty sure that one's I would
Gonna
guess
force the
expensive,
okay.
but
Oh, Venge messed up so bad there. That was a huge mistake. He grabbed the bounty rune. He was holding it for the Tiny, but he just grabbed it, and Tiny was almost there. They even had a ward. They could spot where Jarex was. Maybe they were scared for the snowball or something, but
well, I think it might have been he was scared that the ice shards would block him out, and then Jarex could go get. I don't know how close
it
Jarex
really
actually
looked
was,
like
though.
a huge mistake. Like he definitely had reaction time there to deal with that. And now Tiny has no more rune. He got one extra bottle charge out of that, but that was it. Now he's empty.
Top lane mind control. Arcane cursed up into a magic missile. Has skewer up again. We'll choose not to use it this time. I actually do remember the Silencer game yesterday, actually. I just remember Glaives of Wisdom wrecking Silencer. I don't remember him.
Yeah.
I guess he must have been spamming Arcane Curse.
And he had draw or no he didn't get any Arcane Curse. He was just trading
okay.
because when you use Glaives it doesn't aggro creeps. It's similar to the poison attack of Viper. So he basically just stood on the high ground. He's trading hits with the sniper, and the sniper went take aim first instead of headshot, which I thought was a slight mistake, but it ultimately led to like tons and tons of pressure on sniper. It was really well done by the Silencer.
Oh man, mind control again. This time it will result in another kill as Pasha taking some damage from the tower, but it won't really matter. Poor Mag, man.
The smallest little mistake there, and they go on the aggressive. Really good read there from Vega to sense the out of position that Magnus had.
Well, in the mid lane, we're gonna look at the CS for now. 20-5, or 22-5, I should say, is Lina. Picks up a couple more CS versus Tiny 9-0 getting completely dominated. But honestly, Fata is, I want to say, in the Western scene, he's got to be like a top 3 mid. It feels like he never loses his lane, like ever.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of farm as well. He definitely outfarms almost all players. Doing a great job mid, zoning out the Tiny. Look at this, he's even going to harass. Maybe get a kill. No, doesn't land it. There's a haste on Tiny anyway, so.
Top lane mind control. This time he's got a buddy in Jerax. He's baiting a little bit. Jerax has a snowball, and Ice Shard's going to block solo in. Should be a kill one way or another. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, but the snowball's going to mitigate a ton of that damage from Blade Fury. Of course, it will be a trade at the end of the day with that crit.
I think he was going to die. Yeah, he didn't have boots yet, so he was going to die there, but either way, getting the kill, not a big deal. Maybe he should just
Fata getting chased by the hasted Tiny. Wasn't able to get the full combo off, at least not in time to do the maximum amount of damage. Actually, what build is he going? He's going, wow, 3. Okay, can you explain this to me? Because I see people changes up all the time. I'm of the opinion that you go a 2-4
yes,
and then ult.
I believe that's the biggest damage build if you're attacking one target. He might die here. Yeah, he
man, he gets blocked in by the Ice Shards. Gets a nice Abatos combination. You actually might live through this. Fata with one more right click, it's not going to be enough. And Solo's here, doing a little bit of damage to Fata. Gonna chase him off. Fata will live.
I'm really surprised that that didn't work out. I Fata canceled his stun or something. Maybe he got hit by a stun, or he easily had the life strike rate to follow.
Oh man, he's going real deep here. Mid Jerax really wants to kill. It'll only be harass damage. Oh, Fata! I didn't realize he was still by that tier 1. He gets dived by Seema. And now Jerax is the next on the list for Vega Squadron. Has absolutely no mana. Attempting to run away. Rune is not for another 15 seconds. Will be saved by the RNG this time. But his teammates are here. It does force Slark out of the lane, which is something I guess you can't underestimate if you're Liquid in this case.
That was really nicely done by Venge to swap back in, to rotate back in to pressure Fata. Fata wasn't able to bottle up yet due to the fact that the Arcane Curse was still on him because he cast some spells, so he had to wait for a bit, and he didn't anticipate the Venge coming in, so she got a huge kill there.
Alright, can we go back to this Tiny again? So,
yeah,
he doesn't max... He is... Okay, I was going to say, if he wasn't maxing Toss, then that means he's not going ult until like 9, right? Because when you get your ult, it makes Toss deal more damage. So you should be maxing Avalanche.
It gives you 20 movement speed, or 25 movement speed, something like that. It's actually quite good.
Mid lane.
40, sorry.
Seema not quite in range for the magic missile, but it does force the rotation out of Jerax, who is now mid to babysit Fata. Yeah, he should be going ult at level 9,
movement speed. I just can't see the downside in a lot of cases to getting it. I have a feeling that if you have more Avalanche, it probably does less, but I don't know. Most like most players I've seen, it's the same thing.
He's gonna get snowballed in a nice. I was gonna say nice avalanche, but it really maybe one, not fair at all. Seam is here to grab some remains of his teammate.
It was a great try. He threw the avalanche right before he got stunned. He got about half a second of stun duration on them, but it was not enough. The third stun gets the kill.
Mag's actually getting some nice XP top now. He's found a nice little crevice here. Level 6 has RP available. No mana at the moment though. As Jerax and Kuroki transition to the top lane. And RP will not be up, it doesn't look like. Doesn't have near enough mana. Snowball in. We have TP support. Takes out the healing ward. Pasha wants to fight. They're going to find the Tusk. Very easy kill, actually. Perhaps underestimating the power of Vega Squadron. He gets a nice impale. Is he blocked off? Oh, it's another dead hero. And Vega Squadron just cleaning up these kids left and right. Solo, he gets tossed in. Oh my god, mind control. You're in a lot of trouble. No more right clicks are even needed. Arcane Curse helps take him out. How much intelligence? He has 8 intelligence as a level. What is it? Is he a 4 or a 5 this game?
I would give him the 5 roll.
Okay, yeah.
There's a treads on bench.
Pretty damn good.
He's been basically roaming in Zonian lanes, so you know, they might be indistinguishable. It all depends on how they farm later. But either way, man, Vega absolutely stomped that fight. It kind of looked like an okay gank. The Joke had no mana. He couldn't spin. They snowballed on him, went for the kill. And he instant teleport there from the tiny meant that Jerax knew while he was still in the snowball, he's like, oh, I'm going to die. This isn't good at all.
Well, it was kind of unfortunate because Mind Control just didn't have enough mana to really do anything. He had like 1 Shockwave, and that's all he could, or 1 Skewer, but that would be going way too deep. RP was not available thanks to the mana cost and whatnot, but I mean, if they can get a Blink Dagger at some point on Mind Control, that would obviously help quite a bit, but we're talking 9 minutes in, has Brown Boots, Bottle, 200 or 300 gold now. So not doing a greatest right now.
Even if he does do a little weak, it's going to be okay because he is going to still be able to empower the Slark and slowly increase his damage. So even if he does have a rough game, that's kind of a standard for Magnus. That's why Magnus isn't drafted offlane very much, because he is very outlaneable. So I don't see it as that big of a deal that Magnus is doing poorly in the scope of the game. He will be able to accelerate and still provide a lot late game.
What do you think of Ags on Magnus? I'm saying he's going to get it, but just in general, what do you think?
I don't even know what it does. What does it do again?
So it's like an aura. His empower is an aura. Except it also works on range units for like half, I think. Like it actually does splash attack range units. Cool. As Seema and company smoked up a nice impale by Kuroki. That actually might save his life. Indeed it does. They were lined up perfectly thanks to that little narrow pathway. And that smoke gank is completely blocked off as no one following up a rune. I expect him to go Blink Dagger first.
Well, I mean, it's an item he can buy later, but probably there's no way you'd ever buy Eggs
Magnus again?
Yeah, Eggs on Magnus. There's no way you'd buy it before Blink and Force, and in a lot of cases you're going to need BKB, or you're going to need maybe a Eul's Scepter. Like, in this game, he's probably going to need a BKB or Eul's due to Global Silence, so I just don't see Eggs being an option in almost all games.
It's super luxury. For sure. Kuroki getting damaged at bot lane, but nothing will come of it. Jerax level 4 on Tusk.
They might see the Vengeance, right?
I mean, Slark right now is just farming out of control if you look at this. Yes, 85 and 10 versus the Juggernaut. He pounces on the Seema. That is a dead Vengeful Spirit in all likelihood. In fact, Shockwave takes him out. So Mind Control getting a little bit extra gold. You'll thank his carry for that one. And I think that's actually really good that he gets that kill.
It reminds me of a Crystal Maiden game I played the other day against the Slark where I just got eaten constantly.
And Mind Control gets Omni Slash. Silencer's going to pop his ult for this. And they're not going to find him, at least right now. Bottom lane in the meantime, Jerax gets initiated on Solo. Continuing to pursue Kuroki very low, but they're going to focus their efforts on Tusk, who snowballs onto a creep. Is he actually going to survive through this? Toss is up 2 seconds, but no mana. Has a wand charge. There we go. Jerax taking extra damage. He's going to attempt to tee out, but that's more intelligence going the way of Silencer. As Tusk is the only casualty. How did Magnus get away?
Yeah, they played it really well. The line popped a Fairy Fire as the toss came through, and he lived with like 50 HP or something like that. So really nicely done by those guys. And that was the Global Silence, by the way. Global Silence being used top to try to get a kill on the Magnus, but he ate the Omni Slash, and there just wasn't any damage afterwards.
I didn't get to see the tail end of that, but I'm really surprised they didn't find the kill on Magnus because he's stuck in the trees.
Well, no, it's not. It's a path over there now, right? If you get over there, it's actually really hard to get the kills because you have to lead them off and then try to make sure you find them, and it's actually quite hard. So he went over there. He was gonna be able to skewer at any moment, so they weren't gonna be able to block the path. So they said we're just gonna back, and he teleported out to play it safe.
All right, there's the blink dagger on no one, so expect them to be even more aggressive than they've been. 8-3 right now for Vega Squadron. Watch the Blade Furies as a defensive measure. This tier 1 tower looks to be dead, going the way of Liquid. Fortification now refreshes as a result.
Vada's got his Yules ready, so defending himself against Omni Slash and Global Silence is pretty straightforward for him, but he'll probably use it to try to get some solo kills. And that's the really scary thing about Vega, for Vega this game, is that Liquid has so many good gank heroes that can solo kill, whether that's Slark, whether that's Lion +1, or even just Lina now. They've got to be really worried about those kind of fights.
Well, Vega smokes up in the mid lane. They might find Jerax and Kuroki on the cliff here. There comes the Blink Dagger showing for no one, but a nice Tusk Snowball, mitigating a ton of damage. The toss-up, Kuroki extremely low as Slark is going to pound into the flesh of Seema. So far, the only casualty is Lion, followed by Tusk. We'll see if this continues, as Tiny continues on. Matumba Man, pretty low, but pretty evasive overall, getting chased. There's the Echo Slam used along with the Avalanche and Silencer ult. 3 dead in the blink of an eye. Vega Squadron looking really strong.
Yes, slight mistake from Line there. He needed to ulti a bit faster. Kind of as soon as things hit the fan, he needed to throw his ult out. And unfortunately, it was late enough that they didn't get any kills in that little engagement, despite the fairly fast reaction by Jerax there.
All right, I have a really important question for you, Burge. We might be seeing some action top, although I don't think there's any way Mind Control can get a kill. Okay, have you been using the new compendium?
Yes.
Like the quests?
Yep.
I can't remember what the actual number is. The Lina. The path, call it.
Okay.
The last quest, how many stuns is that? I can't remember. Do you? Have you done that one?
No, let me look.
Because I'm not a big Lina player, and I was wondering if that's considered a lot of stuns needed or not. So I have no freaking
30 enemy heroes using this right?
In one game. Is that a lot?
It's probably pretty doable if you do AoE stuns.
Oh, RP's up top lane. It's going to cancel the TP of Juggernaut as Matumba Man and Mind Control clean him up, absolutely no problem. In the meantime, bottom lane Jerax being spotted out by this sentry, and here comes the toss. Snowball's gonna get him out in time, it looks like. Doesn't have blink or anything like that, but it's enough to get away.
I can't believe that was within range. That was incredible. It was like a max range snowball in the correct direction that you want to go.
Okay,
oh, he's still gonna die though. Data ward. Hey, oh, you see this ward by the way in the jungle?
Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, that's a new one.
It's in the command.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say Gem TD, but I know it's not in Gem TD because it's brand new. It's a really good ward.
There's an update, dude.
That's true. Really true. Should definitely talk to the creators because you've given them more advertisement than anybody I've ever seen.
I say, man, it's a fairly okay game.
Fairly okay. That's the glowing reviews. Bottom lane, Avalanche top combo again on Mind Control, gets stunned up by Seema. A couple more right clicks might take him out. He has to swap just to make sure. Trying to bottle through, but Mind Control, no way you're getting out of here, buddy. And wow, Lina, Bata gets the nice ult. Gonna take out the Vengeful Spirit, so 1-for-1 at the current point in time. Mag on the run. Has absolutely no mobility items. Looks to be dead one way or another. Man, Jerax is doing a really good job of mitigating damage with that snowball.
Yeah.
And this looks to be a surround and conquer mag. 2-for-1.
Yeah, Jerax is pretty good, man. He's like, oh, Fissure's coming? Okay, I'll just dodge that, no problem. Makes that gank so much easier. So
the sad thing about this is we're never going to see him, I don't think, on Earth Spirit in this tournament.
Probably not, considering the win rates of Earth Spirit at some of the tournaments recently. It's a hero that's it's thought to maybe be close to being balanced, but some teams just constantly win with it.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think last season, obviously Earth Spirit was not in CM yet. I think Jerax played it, and he did horribly. I remember correct. I don't know if it was him or not. There was a couple people that played it. None of the performances were anything noteworthy though. Matumba Man. Oh, he's gonna get spotted out. Silencer's gonna pop his ult just to ensure that Slark cannot get away. In fact, I don't even think that was needed, but
it's very smart. Yeah, like getting a kill like that is so big at this stage of the game. That was probably the most farmed hero on the map. Yeah, and it was the guy with the highest net worth. Getting a kill on Slark is so huge in the early game. And he's died 2 times now. He's got no kills, actually, just assists. And he does have a Midas, so he's still farming fast. But if he didn't get killed there, he would very shortly afterwards finish his Blink Dagger, and then the supports to really start worrying. So delaying that Blink, or delaying that the Shadow Blade as long as possible is a huge advantage.
Vega looking to push Mind Control out of lane. They do so successfully. He does not have a blink. He's only about 400 away, so it's caught up a little bit since we last brought it up. This tier 1 tower looks to be dead in all likelihood. Despite the score being 14-6, the net worth, like you were saying, Slark and then followed by Lina are the top 2. So Liquid, as far as their cores are concerned, doing quite well.
And how is Mind Control at 4,500 despite how many times he died? Yeah. The reality is probably towers. There's 3 dead tier 1 towers, so... Regardless of the amount of times he's died, he's still done a decent job. 2-4-1 is not terrible. Playing Magnus offlane, you're gonna die. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, especially against those heroes. Just do a lot of freaking damage early. But either way, Vega does have the initiation possibilities now. He's pretty much on par with Magnus as far as farm is concerned. As far as getting a Blink Dagger, I should say. Not too far behind, so that should help as well. I mean, wow. Tiny's going for a Shadow Blade. So we have a finished Shadow Blade on Slark. What do you think about Shadow Blade on Tiny?
It's not that weird. I know No-Tail does this as well when he plays Tiny. Shadow Blade is just good for it, allowing you to find kills. Like, Blink Dagger is great for closing the gap and getting a kill, but if you don't know where your opponents are, you can't just walk around in the jungle and then when you see them, jump on them. Because a lot of cases, they will stun you, they'll use a spell, they'll use their Euls or Blink. Shadow Blade lets you do is it lets you look for heroes to initiate on, and it's a different... It's like a different version of Blink Dagger, but having both together is actually quite obnoxious to play against. And the same thing, if Slark finds you, you can go invis. It's going to force them to carry more dust and things like that. It's just a nice item to grab if you're going for heavy gank play.
Yeah, Slark has the Shadow Blade being used, and he's inside of Seema right now, and not in a good way. As Vengeful Spirit will in all likelihood drop to Echo. Nice fissure though, blocking him off. All right, he gets saved.
That was really sick. He like stopped attacking for a second there too. That was just such a great fissure.
Lion comboed up by no one at the top lane as well. So, I mean, despite the cores for Liquid being quite farmed, Vega is still coming out on top on pretty much every engagement.
They're getting a lot of good kills.
Look at the net worth chart, Purge. It's literally even. What the hell?
Yeah, but that's towers though. They have an extra 2 towers over their opponents. It's gonna.
Well, even so, let's say it's 2 towers. So that's what, 4K, right? Like 15-6 this early should mean more than that, but hey, I
don't think so. I mean, there's also a Midas on Slark, so that's going to slightly influence their overall network. So that is going to matter. Plus, you know, Fada's got 135 freaking CS at 19 minutes. That's
disgusting.
Pretty good, man.
Pasha doesn't quite have his Battle Fury yet, about 1,400 away from finishing it, so that is kind of like getting a Midas of his own, if you want to go that route. But
and he also got Drum first, so he didn't play super greedy or anything to go straight phase Battle Fury, and this build's just a little bit safer. He's gonna run into item slot issues a bit earlier, but I think that's fine if you're just trying to guarantee you live.
No one Shadow Blades up, looking for Fata. Could self-heals, but he's not going to see this coming. The TP! Oh, the toss combination is there. Just in time.
He would never have gotten that kill with just the Blink Dagger alone. And the Shadow Blade is awarding him that. He's basically playing the Slark role. Go around the map and kill a lot of important heroes, and it's doing so much.
And it was really smart for him to... mid lane. Silencer pops his ult after the Mind Control RP, and that's going to save the life. Or Seema the Slayer. Matumba Man might... he's going to get away for now. He's going to pounce into the trees. Dagger being shown by Mag. Ghost Time still available. It looks like the Magnus did spill it in the end by the bottom rune. And I don't know if anything else is going to come with this. Mag has Blink available. Gonna go for it. He gets sheeped up by Kuroki. Kuroki's so squishy on this Lion. Has Tranquils, Energy Booster, trying to find his way to the grave via the neutrals, but that ain't gonna happen this time.
Oh, it got him!
Okay, it happened.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
That was actually ridiculous. He's like slowly getting ready to throw the little fireball thing he does, and
I want to see that in slow motion. Can we?
You know, I'm gonna blame Jug on that one.
All right, Pimp's gonna roll it.
Like, Jug went for a Blade Fury spin. Like, that was like, it does a lot of damage, but right-clicking is chunky, you know? If you do Blade Fury, it gives other things better chances to last hit.
Oh, Fata again getting comboed. Very nice one by no one. We have initiation by Mag, just completely blowing up the Tusk. Omni Slash as well, and that's, I mean, with the Lion, that is almost a team wipe. minus the Slark.
Yeah, like in a game where Liquid definitely had the potential to win this, Vega is all of a sudden just out-ganking the crap out of Liquid. They can't even get close to standing up to this. They're just absolutely solo killing on everybody. And I thought Liquid was the team that was going to do that, but Vega's completely doing it just with the Tiny and with a little bit of extra stuns on the backside.
Yeah, the double Blink Dagger helping out quite a bit for Vega, and now Pasha has his Battle Fury waiting for him at base, and they're going to get a free Roche on top of this. So, and that's the thing that people don't understand when you watch a team fight and you see like the net worth go crazy, like 2 or 3K going to your advantage. That doesn't take into account the next like minute that everybody's dead or however long, plus like any towers that'll get killed as a result, or in this case Roshan.
And Vengeance's skill build might be a little bit weird to you guys, but the reason he does this is because Tiny's base damage is so high that Vengeance actually gives him a lot of damage amp. So, kind of a cool build to maximize the amount of damage Tiny does. He's almost got eggs now. Like, he got a Shadow Blade, and he's almost got eggs in 22 minutes. I wish Slax was here so he could give us a stat on how far Tiny compares to most average Tinys, but fortunately he's asleep, and let's be real, he's incompetent enough to be able to do that anyways.
Well said, Purge. Man, burning Slacks while he's sleeping, that's just dirty. Dirty, dirty, dirty. Yeah, only 1,200 away for Tiny to finish this eggs. That is pretty insane considering where he was about a minute ago. Not that he was under farm, but still. Like, the Shadow Blade isn't exactly a farming item, it's a gank item, but it's been super successful. He's about to hit level 16. He finds Fata again. Oh, he gets Yules! Dude, is there a ward? Okay, there was a sentry. I was going to say, that is the most ridiculous reaction time. But there was a ward.
He definitely reacts really rapidly, but you can just see it in all their play. Look at how JRX is farming the bot lane. Look at how they're farming the top lane. They're like casting spells from fog. They don't want the enemy team to know where they are. It's all because these ganks have been so heavy that they're getting into Liquid's head, and Liquid knows that they're behind and that they need to get ganks as well. But it's very hard. Vega's moving S5, occasionally peeling off a Tiny to get a kill. It's a very scary game now for Liquid to try to win this.
Tier 2 tower's going to take some damage as Vega is going to continue to push, and they can just leave Jug in the front line doing the damage to the buildings while Tiny just sits there waiting to blink and just completely destroy anybody that comes in his way. So I don't know if Liquid can defend this all. Like right now we have, it's about a 4.5k lead Vega, and with that tower it's going to be a little bit higher obviously. It's not out of reach for Liquid, that's for sure.
It's not, but they need to start getting some kills. Kills are the best way to come back into a game, and they just don't feel comfortable moving out. And the ward vision for the Dire team is really good. A lot of atypical wards up on the map. Really good ward vision. All these are about to die, so they will lose some vision in a moment, but would need to move out and get some kills, and that's what Kuroky's doing up here. They're gonna wait to see if somebody's farming, and then he can be behind somebody and potentially set up on them, regardless of having a Blink Dagger.
I thought he might try to set something up with mind control, but it doesn't look to be the case this time around.
I mean, that's why he's there, you know. The creep wave might push top, for example. If mind control goes top, pushes the wave.
Oh, Matumba man, close to the Dire base. He's just focusing on Seema, this poor guy.
He has
it's like the only guy who's been killing this whole game.
That's what you have to do when you play Slark. You have to aim for certain heroes, and you know which ones are the easiest kills, and you go for them, and you repeatedly kill them. So it sucks to play the least farmed and the squishiest hero against a Slark, because if he's a good player, he's going to think, where is Venge going to be right now? He's going to find you, and he's going to kill you.
Well, Fata right now working towards a BKB, and obviously that'll help quite a bit if he can get it off in time, but if Tiny can continue to do what he's been doing, which is come out of the shadows without any vision, it's not going to help whatsoever, other than the base HP that you get, obviously. Top lane mind control.
HP's a big deal, though. I mean, even in 190 can make a huge difference.
RP is available, he's in the trees. Vega playing somewhat passive. Earthshaker has the counter initiation, of course, with the Blink Go Slam.
And they have a mech, like, getting these kills are going to be really tough. They got to kill him right away.
Oh, they're going to focus on Juggernaut. He's Omni Slashes up right away into the creep wave. Does a decent amount of damage as Matt comes up with a big Echo Slam. Silencer pops his ult right off the bat. Matumbo Man, he's invisible thanks to his ult, but
so solo
can't he get away? Do they have any vision? They have actually no vision right now.
Could maybe re-engage, but definitely safer to back there. A little bit of a very thoughtful skewer there. I think that was a bit of a miscommunication from Liquid. They would have had to RP afterwards or something. And he ate a lot of that Omni Slash before things looked better. So he ends up getting killed. They traded Global for it. It's not the worst trade for Liquid. They did use Slark quickly, so they're going to have to wait about 30 seconds to fight.
And Slark forced out yet again. Just can't stay farm to his heart's content. I mean, right now Slark getting pretty close to that Scott. I mean, do you just buy Scotty without buyback? Is that a thing that you need to do at this point for Slark?
It's an option. There is a lot of burst damage on the enemy team, and there's a lot of disables, so it's kind of scary to not have buyback. But the same vein, the Scotty's going to give him 750 HP, and that's going to also resist a lot of the damage that his opponents do. So in some ways, it might be worth it just to go Scotty. Not to mention your ability to solo kill is amazing with it. If you initiate on support like Silencer or Vengeful Spade, they're not getting away from you unless you TP, and Scotty guarantees that.
Because BKB is officially completed, he's going to group it up with his Aether Lens, which we haven't mentioned. I guess he took that apart not too long ago, along with the Yule. So he's doing quite well for himself, but of course, still has to worry about the burst damage from Tiny and company. As they're going to smoke up, is Liquid. Looks like they want to defend this tier 2. Here comes the big RP. It's only on 1 though, Pasha. He gets swapped and he even has the Aegis, so it doesn't really matter. The swap kind of wasted in my opinion, but no one going to be seen to the Sentry. And Vega Squadron is just going to attempt to back up. Is no one going to apply all the pressure to Jerax, who comes in out of nowhere to his death, it seems. A 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Oh, very bizarre fight there. I mean, they ran the Slarkin ready to fight, but the Sentry was down, so it prevented him from casting spells. Overall, worked out all right for Liquid, considering the circumstances. They can fight, I think, when Tusk is up. Global's down, but there's still Omni Slash. It's hard.
Did they kill Jug or not? Or did it expire?
It ran out. I heard the sound now that I think about it.
Okay, so it was really so close that I guess that's why he probably swapped, because they weren't sure when it was going to expire, is my guess.
Oh, he got low? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he was the one that got initiated on. He's going to have another initiation, this time for Mind Control onto no one. Half HP already. Silencer pops his ult. Matumba Man's going to take the brunt of the Omni Slash, gets destroyed. No buyback on him. So that Scotty ends up not working out, at least not for now. As Pasha is blocked in, gets Wallers punched up. Considerable damage. LSA does connect. Here comes the snowball. Do they have enough to actually take him out? Echo Slam counter initiation as no one comes and blows up Fada. That is 2 for nothing on top of the Slark kill from earlier. And Vega should be able to take this tower, at the very least, not the racks.
It was so long they just didn't have the ulti on Lina, and now another hero's gonna die. They would have been able to kill the Jug if Lina had mana, but they've just fought like 3 short battles there. He just didn't have it, and that's gonna be a Rex.
Fortification is popped, but with Lark and Lina both dead for 30 seconds, respectively, this should be 2 racks. They're not even going to bother with the range. Just going to focus on the tier 3 mid. And with that Aghanim Scepter on Tiny, I mean, I don't know. You have so much building damage.
The Jug is really fast at pushing too. What a rough game for Liquid.
2 racks.
They played so well, but man, Vega just outplayed them in ganks. It all came down to ganks, and when the team fights were hard as well. Global Silence, Echo Slam, they have so many good initiation options, whereas Liquid's a lot more limited. They can't necessarily, as long as they don't group as 5 and get too close, then Liquid can't win fights. They need to have monster RPs to basically win their fights. It's the only way.
Liquid has about 1 fight left in them. And at this point, when you're that far behind, you need to take some risks, and I'm not sure what risks there are to take. Roshan, I guess we won't know exactly when he's going to be up for the next 30 seconds. By the way, I was correct. Remember we had an, I wouldn't say argument, we had a discussion about the Roshan timer. So when it turns 6 minutes, it actually shows the time on the screen for the spectators when it actually respawn. But now that I didn't see it, we don't know until it hits the 8-minute mark here. 2:15. Okay. I can't tell if you're. What? No. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying at. Hold on.
Oh, they're gonna get
initiated on. It shows earlier than what you're saying. Silencer's gonna pop his ult though, so that's enough. You gotta wait for that cooldown. So Vega can't really push without that global silence. So nice kill from Liquid.
I didn't even realize that was the Jug, because he was a little fish on the ground. That was a huge kill.
A little fish indeed. All right, Jerax counter initiated on Magcom wants to come in. They better be careful though. Slark still does considerable damage with that Scotty and whatnot. Fata pops a BKB, looking for the LSA. Nope, gets the Laguna Blade instead. No one is so tanky though. He's only at half HP after all that combo. Fata forced to self-heal and he will fall to the ground. Mind Control. We have a swap. The solo's in the middle of 2 heroes. We have a big RP for Mind Control, but is this going to be enough to do anything? A triple kill for no one,
Craggy.
as the cleaves are out of control. And yeah, Matumba Man getting craggied left, right, and center. And that is going to be another team wipe. Vega Squadron. Ultra kill.
There was a chance that he killed Tiny there, but his first hit there when he used his ult was craggy, and it just led into the fissure, and that led into the avalanche toss, and that's the end of Slark there. Really rough for him. I'm sure he wanted to spam Dark Pack a little bit more, but you know, you can only cast it so often, 6 seconds.
And now the net worth lead is just out of control. With those 2 Raxes and multiple team wipes, it's about a 20k net worth lead for Vega Squadron, and I mean, that is in all likelihood going to just increase as the game continues.
The Mega RP was a bit weird. He skewered him a little bit too close to the edge, and it pushed the Tiny to the high ground, so they didn't catch all of them in the RP. Really what they need. I think the best way to do damage to the Tiny is actually to RP him and then attack somebody next to him, or just simply to get a BKB on Slark. When the Slark gets the BKB, then things get actually scary for the Tiny, because if Tiny's a little out of position, Slark can just go on him, and he's going to Scotty through any BKB, and he's not going to get Cragged anymore once he does have the BKB.
Can you pronounce
AC, though.
The second team's name? I want to make sure of something.
Vega Squadron, I believe.
Say it again?
Vega.
Okay. We've had this discussion before, I think it was off the stream, where apparently your Wisconsin accent for the word vague, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you say veg, or what is it? Veg.
Everybody knows it's Bagway.
Okay.
No, I definitely say that word wrong.
Sometimes you mispronounce Vega. Not that maybe there's any correct way to pronounce it, but
people from Wisconsin pronounce their vowels weird, or they hold their vowels a lot longer. It's usually how they do it.
But that's like the only word I've ever noticed for you.
Yeah, it's not very many
strange.
words. But my parents, my mom's from Montana, and my dad is from Wisconsin, so the accents kind of blend occasionally. And depending on where I've been living for a while, it'll adjust. When I went to Wisconsin for a week, it became a little heavier. Stuff like that.
Really? What is a heavy Wisconsin sound like?
Oh yeah, I want to go down there and do some deer
hunting. That's
hunting.
Wisconsin? I thought that was like North Dakota.
It's not that different.
Similar. So you're a big fan of Fargo, I take it.
Never seen it.
What?
My parents used to live in a city nearby, though.
All right, well.
I've been in North Dakota many times.
Surprised they haven't disowned you for not watching that
North
movie.
Dakota.
North Dakota.
No, it's North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Or maybe that's more like Uber, Minnesota, but.
And all the Europeans are wondering what the hell we're talking about. So, continue with the game. 31-11 lead for Vega at the moment as they're looking to take their third and final racks against Liquid. There's the global silence use. Oh my goodness! Tiny with the double damage is just doing so much damage. Gets LSA'd up into a snowball, but look how tanky he is. Takes the Laguna Blade. And actually, that was Finger did a huge mag ult as well. 3 dead for Liquid. And this game should not be going on any longer, I don't think.
It's
GG
so
should
over,
come out. Finally called, my goodness.
As soon as I saw the Slark BKB and he was hitting the Tiny and I saw how little damage he was doing, I was like, this game is over. There's no way. When the initiation starts like that and you lose some crucial heroes to an Omni Slash, really good initiation by Vega, by the way. And then your carry can't even get close to scratching the enemy carry. The fight is over, game ends, and Liquid loses. The Vega just completely outganked. This was a win by no one in almost all senses of the word. He absolutely stomped the 15 to 25 minute mark. Like, Vega just kept getting ganked.
With that Shadow Blade.
That's how you play.